Lila Bennett stood at the edge of her carefully constructed world, teetering on the brink of discovery. To everyone around her, she was a picture of success, a celebrated artist whose paintings were exhibited in galleries across the city. Her fans admired her for her talent, her critics respected her for her vision, and her clients paid handsomely for her work. But beneath the surface lay a truth she had buried, so deeply that even she sometimes forgot it. Lila didn't paint. The real artist was her best friend, Sarah, who had died in a car accident 5 years ago. In a desperate attempt to honor Sarah's work and preserve her legacy, Lila had submitted one of Sarah's unfinished pieces to a local art contest. To her shock, the painting won first prize. The acclaim that followed was intoxicating, and before Lila knew it, she was signing Sarah's name as her own. She had intended to stop after the first exhibition, but the demand for her work grew, and so did the lies. Now 5 years later, Lila found herself trapped in a gilded cage of her own making. She spent her days overseeing a small team of anonymous artists who replicated Sarah's style under her direction. They believed they were assisting a genius, unaware they were perpetuating a fraud. The turning point came one rainy afternoon when Lila received an email from an unfamiliar sender. The subject line read, "I know the truth." Her heart raced as she opened the email. The message was short but chilling. "Lila Bennett, your success is built on lies. I have proof. Meet me at the Glass House Cafe tomorrow at 3 p.m., or the world will know." Lila's hands trembled as she read the words again and again. Who could it be? Her mind raced through the possibilities. Had one of the assistants figured it out? Was it someone from Sarah's past? The next day, she arrived at the Glass House Cafe 10 minutes early. The small, sunlit cafe was bustling with chatter, but Lila barely noticed. She scanned the room, looking for anyone who might be waiting for her. At exactly 3 p.m., a man in his mid-30s approached her table. He had sharp features and piercing green eyes that seemed to see straight through her. "Miss Bennett?" he asked, taking a seat without waiting for an invitation. "Who are you?" Lila demanded, her voice steadier than she felt. "My name is Nathan Clark," he said, leaning forward. "I was Sarah's brother." The confrontation, Lila's breath caught in her throat. Sarah had never mentioned a brother. Then again, Sarah had always been private about her family. "What do you want?" she asked cautiously. Nathan placed a worn leather notebook on the table. Lila recognized it instantly. It was Sarah's sketchbook, filled with ideas and drafts of paintings she had dreamed of completing. "I found this while going through some of Sarah's things," Nathan said. "Imagine my surprise when I saw her sketches, unfinished works that look suspiciously like the paintings you've been claiming as your own." Lila's mind raced for an explanation, but Nathan continued before she could speak. "I've compared your paintings to her sketches. The resemblance is undeniable. I know you've been passing off her work as yours. I can explain, Lila stammered, her facade beginning to crumble. It wasn't supposed to go this far. I only wanted to honor her. Nathan's expression hardened. Honor her? By stealing from her? By building your entire career on a lie? I didn't steal, Lila said defensively. I preserved her legacy. Her work would have been forgotten, and profited handsomely while doing it, Nathan shot back. Do you have any idea how betrayed she'd feel? A deal with consequences. Lila's shoulders slumped. She couldn't deny it any longer. The weight of her deceit had finally caught up with her. What do you want from me? She asked quietly. Nathan leaned back, considering her question. I'm not interested in money. What I want is for you to come clean. Admit the truth publicly and give credit where it's due. Lila's stomach churned. Coming clean would mean losing everything. Her career, her reputation, her livelihood. But she also knew Nathan was right. She couldn't continue living this lie. Give me a week, she said finally. I'll make a statement. Nathan studied her for a moment before nodding. 1 week. If you don't follow through, I will. The week that followed was the longest of Lila's life. She drafted and redrafted her statement, struggling to find the right words. On the 7th day, she held a press conference at the largest gallery exhibiting her work. Reporters and art enthusiasts filled the room, buzzing with curiosity. Lila stood at the podium, her heart pounding in her chest. She took a deep breath and began. Thank you all for being here today, she said, her voice trembling. I have something important to confess. The paintings you've come to know as mine are not my work. They are the creations of Sarah Bennett, a brilliant artist and dear friend who passed away 5 years ago. I took her work and presented it as my own. I told myself it was to honor her, but the truth is, I betrayed her memory. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the crowd, but Lila pressed on. I will be returning all profits from her paintings to a fund in her name, dedicated to supporting emerging artists. I can never undo the harm I've caused, but I hope to make amends. When she stepped away from the podium, the room erupted into chaos. Some reporters shouted questions. Others scribbled furiously in their notebooks. Lila ignored them all and walked out of the gallery, her head held high despite the tears streaming down her face. In the weeks that followed, Lila's world unraveled. Galleries dropped her, collectors demanded refunds, and her name became synonymous with scandal. But amid the wreckage, she felt an unfamiliar sense of relief. For the first time in years, she was free from the weight of her lies. Nathan, true to his word, helped establish the Sarah Bennett Art Fund. Together, they organized an exhibition of Sarah's original works, ensuring her talent would be remembered. As for Lila, she began painting for the first time in her life. The results were far from perfect, but they were hers, and in every stroke, She found a glimmer of redemption, a reminder that the price of pretending, though steep, had finally set her free.